So we made our way over here to the composite side, and Andy, we've got another one of them beautiful Chevelles. This one happens to be fiberglass. I know you offer it both ways.
Yeah, we offer them both in fiberglass and carbon. But yeah, this one here is a body that we just popped out of the mold, so you can kind of see it in its raw form, what it looks like. But yeah, I think we got like 10 more on order. We got some going to UK and some going across the United States and some going over to Australia, like what you saw earlier. So not only do we build the bodies and build the cars complete, but we also offer it as a package.
Right.
That if somebody wants to buy a body, they can buy a body and tubs and flat sheet, and then they can build it themselves.
Right. And as I look back here in the back, because I have been fortunate enough to do a few things myself with regard to these, I see what appear to be some plugs and some molds and that type of thing back toward the back here.
Yeah, we've got our Chevelle plug back there and our Duster plug back there, and then the orange mold is our Duster mold. That's what we started off originally, and then we stepped up, and you get so many molds in here that they all orange, so we did the Chevelle in black, so we know, divide it up a little bit to know what we're doing. But yeah, we got Duster molds, Chevelle molds, we got seat molds, table molds, NACA molds, trunk kit molds, tub molds. So we can pretty much do it all here in shop.
Used to be a time, and still is today, that there are shops that buy their bodies from everybody. But you mentioned up front earlier that you guys wanted to be different, and that's what brought in the Duster and the wedge-shaped Chevelle and that type of thing.
Right. You just want to be able to control your own destiny sometimes. Even though we run behind sometimes, we can control our quality control. We can control when we get it. And what we're looking for, instead of trying to relay to another body guy, hey, this is what we're looking for, he may not have the same vision we have. So we can do all that over here in-house. And if a customer says, hey, I want something a little different or unique, like when we lay a body up, say he wants to paint the car, but he wants real carbon stripes. Right. Well, we can put that in the mold for him and do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so, we can do several different things for the customer, whereas some other body shops or molds making shops won't do that. They're just, this is what you get and this is how it is, and that's it. So
let's take a real quick walk over this way, and I want you to introduce me to some of the folks that bring the fiberglass and the carbon fiber bodies to us, mainly carbon fiber these days. I know one of them is your wonderful father. Introduce these guys to everybody.
Well, this is my dad, Stan. He's the one that does everything over here. He's a painter by trade, been doing it for 40 years. So he knows.
Sounds like me.
So he knows the mixtures and the spray patterns that need to be done to make that really slick. And he knows all the tricks of the trade for the molds and doing all that. So, he's really talented in that department. So I couldn't ask for anybody better to have him do this for us. I don't know if you noticed, but when we did the clear carbon Chevelle, which was a year ago in December, he had a heart attack over here in the shop. And it was just stress related, trying to do what we do over there.
I had them when I was 35.
Yeah. Well, my dad's, he's 68, and he's still going hard and strong, and we're blessed to have him here.
You got a lot of great folks here. Tell me exactly kind of what's going on right here on the table now.
What he's doing is he's cutting patterns to be able to lay up another fiberglass Chevelle. Right. So we cut all the patterns out, and then that way when you lay them in, everything's got its own shape and pattern, so it fits really nice. And instead of like a chopper gun or just throwing it in there, these are all cut to fit patterns, so everything's still hand cut and hand done. So that way, he's been doing this for 40 years. He's got his ways of that he wants it done, so we don't argue with him.
Let me ask you this question, and I do know the answer to it, but I want the folks out there to know. As everybody knows, dealing with fiberglass and fiberglass resin, if you're grinding it or working with it in general, it'll make you itch quite a good bit. Is the carbon fiber the same, or is it not?
It is. Yeah, the fiberglass is a little bit worse, but the carbon can be just as bad sometimes. Scott can contest to that.
I noticed he's got a long sleeve shirt on there, a sweatshirt on there today.
Yeah, we always are prepared for when we do carbon and glass work.
That's really cool, man. I got to tell you, it's really a cool deal, Jimmy, when you can get yourself to a point where you can, as Andy has said, along with his father and a 40-year veteran in the auto body repair business, or painting business rather, when you can put together a team like this and build these bodies and build these cars. And I must tell you, we talked off camera about, the fact that there's a waiting list for these things because there's so many people wanting them. And we were in Vegas a couple of months ago, and we saw the Mike Bowman car, and he point blank said, I had to wait, but I was willing to wait. And I want to tell you something. That thing, not that these aren't, but that thing's a work of art. Of course, I'm an old candy painter. You probably are too. And when you see the candy colors on that car, have you ever got to see it when it's totally completed yet, or no?
Only in pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Mike, and Mike's very particular and meticulous of what he does, so I know it's a really nice piece. But like you said, most people, they call, yell, scream, but at the end of the day, when they get their product, they forget all about it.
Well, Jimmy, I've been rambling along long enough to tell you that they've almost got this car wrapped. But, Scott, I got to tell you, you started out with this car with bare tubing, I couldn't say how many weeks ago. It's immaterial, really, but pretty cool today to see that thing coming this far along and knowing that next week it's pretty well going to be ready to go.
That's right. It was a long time coming, a lot of long hours. We've worked, 76 hours a week for the past 2 months. Try to get all these cars done, and some people just don't understand the time frame that it takes to build a car. But just glad it's coming to an end for Doug. Hopefully it does well for him. And we got a lot more to do. So
it's really been a great visit. And Dad, Stan, I want to get you in here too, because I know there's a lot of things that not only you do here, but I was talking off the record with Andy really on the phone, and he told me that without you, the biggest share of this whole thing isn't even possible at all.
Oh, that's just him talking. He's really the backbone of this whole operation. If it wasn't for him, none of us would really have the desire or interest to do this.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see you here. And by the way, I got things turned around earlier. This is the 40-year body, man. I want to make sure to tell you, but and you're over there laying up and laying those bodies up in fiberglass and carbon fiber. Still something you really enjoy doing?
Yes, I do. One of the biggest thrills that I get out of this is to be able to come in here and work each and every day with both my boys.
Yeah.
My youngest son, Ryan, doing the wraps here with 13 Media, and then growing up here with Andy building race cars.
Yeah, both my kids work in my business too, my daughter and my son both. And we are very, very, very fortunate and special people to be able to do that without a doubt.
It is. Anytime that you can spend that much time with your kids, you are blessed.
You know, the wild part about it is, and Jimmy knows it because he's met my son Drew a number of times, but my son Drew does exactly the same thing he's doing. It's pretty wild. Now my daughter, she doesn't build race cars, but she does work in the office there. But I just want to say thank you guys for everything today. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. We really, really appreciate PDRA and Scruggs and all those guys. It's been a blessing to be able to run with you guys.
Scott, very nice to be able to come and see your workmanship up close and in the raw and in the flesh. Well, again, we've watched the PD car and then we've watched the Duster over the years, but really, really cool to get to see this stuff in these forms.
Yeah, yes, it is. I'm glad you guys came down. Like Stan said, we want to thank PDRA and everybody involved in ownership there, because without them, we wouldn't have these cars. These organizations, people don't understand it goes from people that make the parts, people that make the race cars. There's a lot of employment involved that they put in place. So I just want to thank them again.
Thank you very much. And Andy, we've been friends for a long time, and one thing that we've always known and stuck with together was the fact that we can't do any of it without the Father above.
Oh, yes, sir. God's blessed us with this building and these tools and the talent to do it, and surrounding me with good people. So you got to give him all the credit. We don't take none of it. Everybody looks at these really cool cars, and it all come from above for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and hanging out with you. And on behalf of the PDRA, thank you for what you do for us as well.
Oh, no problem. Like the guy said before, if it wasn't for PDRA, we wouldn't have the work we have in here. So, Jason and Mitchell Scruggs and Tommy Franklin and Gene Hector and the rest of the guys that do all this for us, we really appreciate it.
Again, my thanks. Hey, can't wait till March, man.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait to be out on the track with you guys.
Andy McCoy and Andy McCoy race cars, not the biggest, but one of the best without a question of a shadow of a doubt. Right here. And where are we again?
Washington, Missouri.
Washington, Missouri. You're watching PDRA TV.